Good morning, Grand Rising. Welcome to uh, Presence of Light with Charlie Riverman Bergeron here on the southwest coast of Maine in the United States of America. Bless you all around the world as I join you this morning from a very deep sleep and a very quiet yesterday, which was in the United States. It was Thanksgiving celebration. We didn't go anywhere. We didn't get to see our families. My beloved was not feeling well. And so we stayed put. And it was just a very quiet day of a lot of reflection in many areas. And, it's interesting that when we think about these things, it's never what we plan, and yet when it falls apart, we have this great ability to not go into crisis over it, but to sit with it and find meanings in it. And so yesterday was a day for me of deep inner reflection. And it was amazing as to how that inner reflection um, arose in me. And I'm going to share it today with each of you around the world. Because although Thanksgiving in America has its own deep rooted meanings, there are other days of thankfulness that everybody celebrates in their own countries. And what is Thanksgiving really but giving thanks? And I'm going to read this message I wrote yesterday. May we remember the courage it takes to stand up in our light. May our light bring forth the courage to share with each other. May that courage dispel all of our deep resistance to change. May surrendering to the flow of light within us be embraced as love and forgiveness. Leaving separation and darkness behind us, we are allowing transformation to restore the pathways through which unity, strength, and inner sovereignty will return. And I'm going to put that for each of you in the sidelines over there. Um, Somewhere I have sidelines. I don't know what I have. Ah, where are I going? Comments. Okay, right there. I get lost in 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 this world of technology. I come from my mind being in this space of receiving words and information and thoughts to this world of technology, and the transition is getting I think more challenging every time I do it. So I just want to thank you all for your tolerance and bless you. So that's Thanksgiving 2021 for me, and it was just a thoughtful day, a quiet day, and I was thankful. I was thankful for so many things going through my mind without the confusion of the day. So, with that, it leads us to this morning. And this morning is, of course, another whole section of existence in which we have this ability to greet each other and be with each other. And we can't even imagine what the future is going to be. We have this ability to sit with each other. And today's message is about innocence, potential, courage, and possibilities. So, what do those four words have to offer us? And for me, this morning is what they offered me, is what I'm going to share. And the message, really, as I read it from my notes, is let's come together to extend love to the whole world. Let not just the parts we adore. Let us remember that we are a very big part of that world around us, and to live in a way that expresses our courage, as well as our belief in the innocent potential and possibilities that we can co-create when we align with each other's hearts. What is innocence? When we think of innocence, what do we think of innocence? For me, it's a baby. It's a baby who can't feed itself. It's a baby who is not really truly consciously aware of where it is or what it's doing. Yet there's a being inside that baby, that infant. There's an intelligence in that. The brain hasn't fully formed in order to work in sync with the body as far as thinking and memory and retaining information and all the things that our brains do. And it is so codependent on each person around it to survive. And that's innocence. Because in that moment or that state of being, it is not creating anything. It is just trying to keep breathing. It is trying to maintain stability here on planet Earth. And it's really incapable of harming its support system. Its support system is, in reality, its parents, its mother, its father, its family, whatever it is. There's stories of infants that were left in the woods and raised by wolves, or raised by monkeys or apes. And so that intelligence is in all living beings to recognize the innocence of that being not being able to survive on its own and coming in and supporting that. If you think about the world right now, the world is getting more difficult to maintain itself. And yet, Mother Earth is this presence of innocence. It is surviving. It knows this. It can do it on itself. Yet it has everything on its surface being destructive and harmful to its sustenance, to its own capability of sustaining its existence. It may sound overbearing or overwhelming for me to say that. Perhaps it's not as bad as I think it is. Show me, prove to me it's not as bad as I think it is. Prove to me that I don't see what I see, the dead trees, the polluted water, the floods, because people have made dams and created uses for natural elements that really were not intended to be used as tools, because they're part of our physical bodies. Our own physical bodies have been used as tools. Where is the respect in that? Where is the love in that? There isn't any. And this is what innocence is about. Is about loving. It's about sharing. It's caring. It's nurturing. Not intentionally harming. Not intentionally using something to the point where it's completely depleted and can't move. If you look at slavery, the concept of slavery around the world from the beginning of slavery, the beginning of somebody taking somebody, a physical self, and making them do something beyond their physical capacity and not feeding them, not taking care of them. That's the society we've carried forward to this moment. And we're still doing it. We're still doing it. Thousands and thousands of years we've been doing this, enslaving each other. Where is the innocence in that? I'm going to preach to you today because it's got to end. It has to stop, and has to stop within us first. We're the ones who hold the key to all of this. When we stop and come back to innocence within ourselves and recognize that innocence and honor it and bring it forward, even though it's scary because we know we'll probably be emotionally hurt at some point. We need to go and create this innocence back inside of us. Years ago, the song Return to Innocence was so powerful. It was a prelude to what we're going to now. Come back to innocence into yourself. Let go of the struggles. Let go of the have-tos, the, if I don't do this, I'm. Innocence is letting go. It's releasing the fears. It's releasing the rules and regulations that no longer serve you for your highest good and the highest good of the collective whole of humanity. And as we come back to innocence, we offer that innocence to Mother Earth. And Mother Earth will engage with us and make everything more beneficial because she recognizes our innocence. We are no longer at war with her. We're no longer devastating, punching holes in her skin and cutting her hair to the point where she's almost bald, from taking the lifeblood out of her veins. If you think of Mother Earth in human terms and look what we're doing to her, I can't say I'm very proud of humanity. And I say that because I know that there's a better way. We all know there's a better way. And it's up to us to do that. So come back to innocence. No longer intentionally harm Mother Earth. No longer intentionally harm yourself. Because what you do to Mother Earth, you're doing to yourself. What you do to yourself, you're doing to Mother Earth. There's no separation. We are part of her. She is part of us. That's a key. Innocence. Come back to innocence inside of you. Find that innocent child before they were hurt, before they were damaged, before they were given rules and regulations and beaten and chastised and ridiculed. Because that's what's happening now. If you look at the world now, you look at the media right now, what are they doing? They're ridiculing, they're punishing, they're bullying. All the same things that we went through as a child. How are we going to create a future that is beneficial? We've taken this, what we've done to our children, and we're just doing it to the whole world. And this is why we are where we are. The next word is potential. What is the potential? What is potential? Potential's, I see it as a collective of individual minds that can synchronize and assist in the environment to enhance it. That's the potential. It's the energy that's possible by gathering together, by not all being single ships on the ocean, but coming on board and joining in larger ships and being the crew and the hands on the deck, the cooks, the whatever, and taking that ship and doing something positive for Mother Earth. Let's go all clean up the plastic in the oceans. You can't see it. We can't see it unless we get a picture of it. There ain't many pictures of that going around, are there? They don't want you to see this. They don't want you to see the devastation. The people who are making amazing billions of dollars of profit from destruction do not want you to see what it's causing. Our potential is in our collective. Let us look in our collective, in our communities, just in your own community, and ask yourself, how can I be part of the positive potential? It doesn't mean you have to protest or you have to fight and argue or do anything. But what can you do in everyday life by saying no to this or no to that, or not using this or not using that? The potential is within you. And once you activate that potential, it starts to trigger others. And others come on board. For the simple reason that most of us live in fear. We've been taught to live in fear. Which brings me to the next word, courage. What is courage? Courage is the ability and the willingness to blend our innocence and potential. Those first two words, innocent, potential. Bringing innocence and potential together in a way that we create positive outcomes, not only for ourselves personally, but positive outcomes for the greater whole of humanity, the greater whole of planet Mother Earth. Courage. We have to have courage. It isn't about going to war. It isn't about power. It isn't about supremacy. It's about taking responsibility for our actions and being courageous enough to do positive actions with respect for others, with caring for others, with an emotional charge, not just because we're going to get a candy bar at the end of the day. Somebody's going to come and pat you on the back. Courage doesn't live on ego. Courage comes from the heart. It's where is your heart? What do you care about? What do we care about as a collective? How many of you are caring about occupying Mars? What is that going to do for you? I'll tell you what it's going to do for you. Absolutely nothing. I mean, it's an amazing feat. It's an amazing gift of intelligence, of the ability for us to figure out how to even do that. I honor everybody that's working on these amazing feats. But this isn't the Olympics, kids. This is everyday life. and billions and trillions of dollars that could be going to feeding starving children around the world are being held in escrow so that somebody can joyride to the stars. I'm just going to call it what it is, and pat themselves and fluff their feathers and say, look at me, look what I've done. While people have to leave their countries because there's no food, there's no housing, and they're being brutally thrown into the streets to starve to death. It's not a pretty picture, is it? We have to have the courage within us to stand up and say, this is not a positive effect on humanity or Mother Earth. I'm going to smile because I don't want to make this like I'm hardcore at this. What I'm trying to do is plant seeds in each of you to think about in your own lives. What can we do to make the future brighter for the little babies that are being born right now, right now, right now, right now, right now? So, this is how it's happening. Do we change their genetic code so that we can have designer children? You can order your child on Amazon. The possibilities are endless. And that's the next word. Possibilities. What are the possibilities that we have to change this? A message came through that said, all changes are held in the frequency of possibility. I'm going to say that again because I found it fascinating when it came through. All changes are held in the frequency of possibility. I never thought of possibility as a frequency. And that's what it is. It's a frequency. It's a river of energy in which the possibilities of anything can happen, be they good or bad. So what if we choose good possibilities? What if we choose possibilities that are beneficial not only for humans, but they're beneficial for animals, they're beneficial for trees, they're beneficial for butterflies, they're for bees, for fish, for microbes, for the mycelium. What are the possibilities that we can enrich all of those beings? And what if we could discern what is no longer suitable? The word suitable for our future. I don't have many years in my future because of my age. But I look at children being born, and I look at children being born and not having the abilities to think properly or not be able to function anatomically correctly. And I look at all of the distortion in these children, and I look and say, wow, what are their lives going to be like? And what are the ones who are coming through with higher intelligence? And you have news and you have teachings that are banning certain books and trying to program them into certain philosophies and ideologies. that are going to serve a few rather than the whole? How are their lives being stolen from them as our lives were stolen from us in many ways? And I think at one point it was unintentional on many levels. Yet the reality is that right now it's not unintentional. And that's the serious problem right now, is you have information that has been hidden from us. We have information that's been rewritten in a way that even the experts in the fields can't make sense out of it. And yet it becomes law, or it becomes uh, mandated by governments. And what are governments supposed to be in this country of America? These people are our representatives. They're not our leaders. We're the one who chose them to be there, to represent us. And when they get there, who are they representing? Their own private interests. The lobbyists who feed them with millions of dollars that we don't even see, that's hidden in that vast land of computers and private accounts. This is the sad story. Yet the good news is, coming out of Thanksgiving, is what are we thankful for? What are you thankful for? Let's be thankful for the fact that we're here. Let's be thankful that we have the conscious awareness to look at this situation. And if we sit quietly and think about it and ask ourselves, what can I do? Never mind what they can do. What can I do? They are supposed to be representing me. And when they're not representing me, what do I need to do? I have to have courage. I have to have the courage to stand up and come back into my heart and ask my heart, what do you need to sustain my life? I need clean water. I need food. I need the ability to provide the financial capabilities of obtaining those things. I need to stop contributing to the pollution and destruction of Mother Earth in the many forms when we have technologies now that can eliminate most of those, but they're not being utilized. And I can come back into my heart and honor who I am without the fear, without the pain and the suffering. All of us right now are feeling a lot of things coming up and moving through them. And unfortunately, in some, it's taking some to grab guns. And if they can't get guns, they're using vehicles to just blindly kill people because their pain and their suffering is so unbearable. And we have people who are supposed to be protecting our society doing the same thing to those people, murdering them. It's time to change. Time to wake up. Time to take a forward-looking vision and say, these are the days that we knew were coming. We've all known this. And we have the power within us and the presence within us to overcome all of this. And not just overcome it, but to change it. And so my talk this morning is one about changing. And looking forward and remembering that we're not lost at sea. We're not lost at sea. We have an inner navigation system, an inner navigation system that is always connected to the sun and the stars, to the universe, to that which we call the divine creator. No matter what religion you practice, they all go back to a source that's benevolent, a source that's kind, a source that can be very fierce, but it can also resurrect all of us into that higher blissful state of beingness. And the message is we need to do that now with ourselves, and to stay in communication with Mother Earth, stay in communication with the waters. Because right now the electromagnetic noise is thicker, and it's becoming more overwhelming and more overwhelming. We go from 3G to 4G to 5G to 6G. What is that? What is all of that that we play with on our phones that we're talking over right now? It's not imaginary. It's physical. It's an electromagnetic field. And with each increase of the electromagnetic field, it affects all of us as humans. It affects all of us as animals. It affects all of us as trees. It affects all of us. And while it's a wonderful tool, when it's left uncontrolled and unmanaged because of the power and greed of those who are producing it and using it to control others, it becomes a weapon. I'm not going to give up this technology, nor are you. This is the way of our life. But can we manage it in a way that is healthy, that it benefits everybody, not a selective gathering of information on everybody, a big brother of the screen who feeds these large corporate computers on every movement we make, every eye blink that they record on this. Every word I say is recorded. Somebody is listening to it. Somebody is taking a look, and when I get out of line, there's a little ripple in where I post things, whether it gets processed or not, whether it gets credited on my record of good things, bad things. So I always have to be saying more good things than bad things, which is good. I like to do that. But it's days like this when I come out of awaken and realize, wow, we're here, and we're here to come and do what we came to do. And that's not be lost at sea. We're not here to be lost at sea. We not only have the abilities to correct this in the world, but firstly, we need to correct it in ourselves. We need to tune into the inner magnetic fields of ourselves and feel the disturbances in our brains, in our bodies, in our joints. And instead of going to the cabinet, and I mean, we have to do that temporarily and get the relief medicine. What can we do in our lives that's going to change all of the energy fields within us and bring them back into balance with our brain, with our heart, not the field outside of us? This is my message really today, is to come back into your heart. Come back into your heart, because that's where the innocence, the potential, the courage, and the possibilities are, right here in your heart. we're all very similar. We're different colors. Some of us have hair, some of us don't. Some of us old, some of us are young. We speak different languages. We live in different places in the world. We eat different foods. We have different animals. And here we are, humanity. And we are humanity as a part of Mother Earth, not separate. No Earth, no humanity. No humanity, you still have Earth, but it won't be the way it is right now. So in closing today, I'm just going to read this ending passage. I'll go and scroll down and see what y'all have to say, but this is the time of awakening, of leaving the dream time of our selfishness. May each of us come back into innocence, realize your full potential, embrace the power of your courage, accept the many beneficial possibilities, thank Mother Earth for her tolerance, evolve with her by deepening our love and respect. And I'm going to post that somewhere here if I can do that. Yeah. No, I don't. This thing gets weirder and weirder every time I use it. Okay. Comments. No, I don't know. No, there they are. Oh, maybe I didn't post the first one. Okay, there's the first one. Hey, I'm losing it. I'm gonna paste the next one and post it. That's what happens. That's what happens. So it's never lose your sense of humor, and know that even when you're giving a lecture that's or talking that it's not the most pleasant thing you've ever done in your life about the greatest subject, know that we're here together and we need to find some humor in ourselves and not take ourselves to the point where we're the guru of the world here. We're just human beings doing the best we can, but knowing that we can do better. So thank you for each of you. And as I scroll down and just glance at all of you that are here, and what I want to do is I want to send you peace, light, and love. And I want you to feel that peace, light, and love from my heart, because this is my purpose in the world, is to bring that through so that others can awaken within themselves. My way, my understanding may not be yours, but I know that inside of each one of you, with each one of you that I scroll down and see, I know that you have a beautiful heart and you have a beautiful mind. And it's time now to trust those. Trust those because you're here right now. And even the slightest movement that you make towards the positive, if 8 billion of us did 1 second movement of the clock, that's 8 billion seconds. So it's not how big we do, it's not how much we do, but that we do. That we do something for the future generations of humanity. With peace, with light, and love. Bless you all and thank you all. Be here again next Friday. Hopefully I'll be a little more on time and not as scattered. But it's all perfect. And that's what you have to remember, that even our mistakes are there to remind us that perfection is a goal, not to judge ourselves as to how far or close we are, but to know that we're on that journey. We're on that journey because that's where we came from. We came from perfection. Then in our truest self, not in this dimension, we are perfect. We don't exist as we think we do. I love you. I thank you. I respect you. I am you. You are me. I am you. We are unity. Be the best that you can be. That's my only message. Be the best that you can be. And the last 5 sentences, if you look at what I put in the thing, the first letters spell create. Brothers and sisters, may you go and create a beautiful world for our future generations. Bless you all. Have a great week. You know where to find me, on Facebook or my blog or wherever it is I appear. Love you all. Thank you.